Alright. So,
And
anyway.
we're back.
Accosted by illithids. Not in the... What even killed me?
The fucking bar came down and crushed you.
Yeah. I think what happened was, so those boxes, if you get caught between them when they're moving, it is an instant kill.
Oh, yeah, so you just got clipped by them.
Yeah, I got, like, pixel-perfect crushed. So anyway, accosted by illithids. Things are not going great. We do, however, win the fight because illithids are particularly squishy. And at this point, I make 8 shots with a gun every turn.
Holy fuck.
To which the illithids understandably had problems dealing with, considering their
Squishy.
moderately low health for their challenge rating, and oh, fuck off. Yes, I'm down here now. Oh, good.
It's your goddamn destiny.
We're fighting the illithids, and then more come, and effectively an illithid like High Lord shows up.
Yeah.
And effectively, he is like, if you remember from Futurama, big brain, I'm winning again.
Yep.
That. Like, we're fighting pretty much the Lord Brain.
Yeah.
Okay. Despite this being Sonic, I actually have to take this segment slow, or else I'm just gonna keep falling in the goo forever. Like Tails there.
Fuck Tails. No one cares about Tails.
Oh,
Oh, game of the
fool me
deadline there.
once, shame on you. Fool me twice, go fuck yourself. Nigga, don't play me like that. Anyway.
Nigga, oh no.
Help. Thank you. Awful spiders. Yes, so we're fighting the Overlord. He's a toughie. His Brain Blast actually requires an even harder intelligence test, which we only ever pass because at our level, bards have a special rule called Bardic Inspiration, where at any point they have a pool of dice, and they can just give out dice for people to use.
Yeah.
And add it to any roll they want to make. The implication being that the bard does one of his entertaining whatevers and motivates the shit out of you.
Yeah.
The bard had to... I don't know why he didn't turn. Anyway, the bard motivated the shit out of me to make me pass the intelligence test to not be retarded, so that I could perhaps fight. Unfortunately, even with the inspiration, Chris was unable to snap out of it in time, and was attacked by the awful creature, at which point it began doing as it does and attempting to suck his delicious brains. Oh, for God's sake. Catch the ring!
Oh.
So yes, it began sucking his brain. Now there's a very important thing in D&D where just running out of health is not actually a kill.
Yeah.
You have what's effectively a countdown.
Yeah.
Where every turn you have to roll a die, and if you roll good, you get a positive counter. If you roll bad, you get a negative counter. 3 of either kind is lethal. And they don't cancel each other out. It's just, you know. So that's how it goes.
Yeah.
However, if you get brain sucked, regardless,
Nice.
you don't even get the count. Your brain was eaten, so you're dead.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. So, you know, Chris was getting his health really low because he couldn't beat Grapple as his brain was being eaten.
Yeah.
I kept trying to shoot him with my special powers to make him let go, and he wouldn't. So we started panicking. At which point the, oh, this is cool. So these syringes actually change the goo here.
Oh.
Hyper jump goo.
Holy shit. That's really neat.
Yes, so, thank you, Tails. So, you know, gotta save Chris. We're running out of ideas. I'm like, okay, so the Bard knows a lot of spells. Have you ever heard of the spell Polymorph?
Yes, I think.
Effectively, it's just a spell. If if the target is willing, they automatically change into whatever animal you want to change them into.
Yeah.
If they're unwilling, they have to fail a test to change, and it's actually remarkably easy. Anyway. I have no idea what happens now. Okay, I go this way, I guess. Chris, we're like, okay, we have to save Chris. And she's like, I could just teleport him out. I'm like, he has a gaping head wound. The only thing presently keeping his brain in is that kindly monster eating it. And Cameron was pointing out how, like, yeah, no, Jay's actually 100% correct. If you just teleport Chris out now, his brain will just fall out of the gaping wound being left by the creature eating it. So, understandably, we're like, okay, so we need a different solution that doesn't involve, you know, our good friend having his brain digested.
Yeah.
But also will prevent his brain from just sluicing out like change from a couch cushion. At which point, I come up with a solution. So, if you lose all your hit points as a polymorphed creature, you don't actually die. What instead happens is any remaining damage would bleed over, and you revert to normal. So I was like, okay, here's my thought here. We let Chris be polymorphed while this thing is sucking his brain, because we're not getting it off him anytime conveniently.
Yeah.
However, when he gets digested, he will just revert back to being Chris and, you know, not be dead. So we'll buy him some time so I can hit this thing and maybe kill it. And, you know, we're all like, that's legitimately one of the best options we have right now. Oh, no, you don't. So that's exactly what we started doing. We polymorphed Chris into a giant scorpion, figuring that if this thing was going to be in grapple with him, why don't we make him regret being in grapple with Scorpion Chris?
Yeah.
I have no idea if this actually turns into regular stuff or not. Oh, good. So we're like, why don't we make him regret being in grapple with a giant scorpion? Unfortunately, that doesn't transform. Okay. Unfortunately, the Master Illithid is still genuinely great at sucking brains, so he still extracted Chris's brain.
Yeah.
So, you know, alright, whatever, he'll transform back into normal. That's when Cameron started reading the official, like, rules on this shit. And he's like, okay, so I have some interesting news. Never a good thing to hear from your DM.
No, never.
So, because the brain the Illithid ate was technically not Chris's brain, Chris's brain wasn't eaten. Unfortunately, the gaping head wound still existed. So when Chris reverted back to being a person, his brain just rolled out the top of his head.
Oh, fuck. Everything you were trying to avoid.
However, there is an advantage here. Technically, he has about 5 minutes before his body suffers death from not having a brain.
Yeah.
Which meant we had 5 minutes to cure Chris with magic. So, a slightly better situation than had Chris's brain been eaten, because that's just irreversible.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, alright. Alright, cool!
I mean, yeah, what the fuck? Why not? It works.
So, like I said, mildly better situation than we were in before. So yeah, mildly improved our situation a little bit. At which point I brought out a sword that I had been, like, saving. And I hadn't used it yet, mostly because my character is spec'd out to be a gunfighter.
Yeah.
That's about the only way I can figure this out to work. So yes, my character's spec'd out for being a gunfighter. Ah! Fool me once, shame on you. Let that happen. Fuck!
Aw, damn.
So my dexterity is much, much higher than my strength. The rings didn't trigger. I just sacked myself.
Just a fucking cavalcade of errors right there.
Yep, that didn't go great. In my exasperated... Do I have the rings now? Can I leave? Okay, so I decide I'm gonna finally use this sword. Oh, okay, hold on, I'm gonna stop talking because I fucking love this boss fight. So there's an old Sonic, spin-off game.
Are you playing Tetris?
Yes, actually. Specifically, it's called Puyo Puyo, which is a variation of Battle Tetris. Technically, though, this is actually Dr. Eggman's Mean Bean Machine, which was a spin-off game from way back on the Genesis.
Oh my god.
So yeah, the reason I'm bringing that up is just because... Oh, yeah. So, every time you actually complete a line, gray blocks drop, which block off your combos. Which is what makes this difficult. So, I'm going to try to set up some combos. I'm not particularly good, so, you know, we can hope. But I think Eggman might be better than me at this. It looks like Eggman is better than me at this. By a not insignificant margin. I did a lot better the first time I played. Anyway, yes, so, I hit him with a sword. Now, among other bonuses this sword gets, it crits really good. It crits on an 18 instead of on a nat 20. And, one of the other hilariously good benefits of this is that, okay, I'm in a really bad situation with this. So yes, it, crits on an 18 plus. So, when it crits, it also does, instead of 2 times damage, 4 times damage.
Holy shit.
Yes. So this was a good-ass sword. I had just, you know, never really bothered to use it on account of I'm not a sword fighter.
Yeah, you're a gunfighter.
But I figured, whatever, fuck it, I'll just try the one big hit and, you know, buy us time to save Chris. What proceeded to happen was, okay, here we go, I'm finally gonna combo this fucker. Yeah, that's what happens when you combo. It gets good. Anyway, so I hit him with a sword, hoping for the best. At which point he takes a crit, which deals the 4 times damage, and the sword does on its own 2d6 of slash alongside 2d6 of fire, which meant
oh my god,
4 times 4 dice of damage.
Holy fuck!
I don't know why he built his machine to do that to himself.
Yeah, that doesn't make
Eggman
sense.
is nothing if not fair.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Son,
Anyway,
got
so I hit him.
3-2.
I hit him with that sword and took him from like above half to just gone, just absolutely gone.
Jesus. Fucking brain sucking octopus, man.
So then we had a new problem. Chris's brain was now on the floor. So this is one of the new levels for this game, by the way. So, Chris's brain was on the floor. Luckily, our bard had regenerate, which is not actually so much a healing spell in the traditional sense of you just get health back. It specifically fixes the body.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like if you have your arm cut off, it, like, mentions explicitly it will grow the stuff back. So we're like, well, fantastic, let's do that. At which point, Cameron comes to an interesting conclusion. It doesn't put the brain back.
It grows a new one.
Yes. Now, mind you, it's the exact same, like, brain as it was before this happened.
Yeah.
So Chris actually has his memories right up to the instant his brain was eaten. Well, that's just bullshit.
Kill it out of vengeance.
Yeah. Took my shield. Fuck it. So, Chris has his memories right up to the moment his brain was fucking digested. So, he's got that going for him. At that point, I come to an interesting conclusion. After, of course, my character being a terrifying bugman decides, I wonder what brains taste like. And, you know, when everyone was horrified, I'm like, well, he's got a new one, who cares?
Yeah.
But that's when I came with a conclusion. I told her to use, cast Regenerate on the brain again, to bring it back to alive.
Yeah.
So I'm now holding Chris's abandoned, but otherwise alive brain. And, you know, they're like, okay, why did you make her do that? To which my response was, our bard is okay at that spell. Let's find someone who's really good at that spell and get him to grow a new body for the brain.
Oh my god.
So we actually do that.
That's incredible. So now you have 2 Chris's.
No, interestingly enough, what happened was the way the spell worked is that when I said a new body, it gave him a new body. So we didn't have a clone of Chris. What grew around the brain was a race called the Dragonborn, which are like literally half human, half dragons.
Yeah.
Because in D&D, humans will fuck everything.
Good.
Although the question actually becomes whether or not it was a dragon or a human that did it. Anyway, it's a minute point. So what grew around it was the brain of Chris, the Catman, how do you say, rogue, now became a Dragonborn cleric. Also, I fucking love that little dude.
That's pretty cool.
So now we have in our party a cleric with all the memories of Chris, which included several. So what happened was, because it was the brain of a level 17 character, what grew out was a level 17 character, which meant Chris got to completely create a new character. And Cameron was like, okay, now Chris, technically these are both your brain, So you get to choose which is your character.
Oh my god.
And then I pointed out to Chris that if he wants to remain as his character, he would have to become the Dragonborn. However, if he wants to live his life as one of the teleporter paradoxes from Star Trek, he must now be the clone brain. Which I don't know if you've ever heard the teleporter paradox.
See you next time, guys.
See ya, folks. I'll talk about it then.